When I got to town, we were still stuck, and I use the word stuck in terms of trying to finish the collaborative agreement. So I'm very pleased to have been an active part and exerted leadership in getting us through that, and then being able to see us follow through on the commitments that we made in federal court. I'm also very pleased about taking City Hall outside these four walls, building partnerships and relationships with people around the community, from the superintendent to the chamber to people in faith-based communities, the community councils. It's important for us to have an ongoing discussion and work in partnership to advance the city. And I think those things have occurred over the past several years. We need to fix the things that we can fix, first off. So as it relates to health and issues of that, we have an issue in our community around infant mortality. We can do better at that. There are certainly concrete things that would advance the needle. We have a 27-28% poverty rate. So regardless of how much prosperity that we're bringing about, it has to be done in a way that dents that number. And so that still needs to occur. And I think we need to, as a community, come to a consensus, as hard as that may be, exactly what kind of city do we want, and be able to articulate, here is what we will get if we become the city that we're talking about. A case in point, Indianapolis made the decision years ago. We wanted to be the sports capital of America. And so they built facilities, they invited events in, and they grew their downtown. We have a world-renowned children's hospital. We need to ride the wave of their growth. We have a university that's dedicated to research at UC. That's good for UC, but that's good for Cincinnati. And so continuing to grow the economic pie is where I see the city needing to go. Continuing to have a diversity of housing that attracts people from all over. And to be blunt, we need more work at table setting. So what do I mean by that? If you have Thanksgiving dinner with your family and you lay out all the 20 or 30 or 40 items, when people look at that table, they can see something on that table for them. They might not like everything, but something is there to attract them. Well, our growth needs to be inclusionary, so that when people look at downtown, when people look at the banks, it's not just for some people. There has to be something there for everybody. And right now, we're short in that area, and we need to improve it. Our growth needs to be inclusionary, so that when people look at downtown, when people look at the banks, it's not just for some people. There has to be something there for everybody. And right now, we're short in that area, and we need to improve it. So when we get to a level where it's not an extra effort to be inclusive, but where it's just an intuitive step that we take, then we'll be on the path to being a city that I think we can be. There is still a tension in Cincinnati around race. You just can't get past that. So that's why being inclusive matters. It matters in business. It matters in decisions about where schools will go to stabilize neighborhoods. It matters in terms of where housing develops. If you were injured in a car accident and you had multiple injuries, and the doctor said, we can treat some of these other injuries, but until we deal with the major source of what hurt you, you will never be fully healed. OTR has been our major injury. When you look at the historical trends of the crime, the disinvestment, the abandonment, it's adjacent to downtown. We can't ignore it. And so there have been companies, institutions, people that have rallied to fix that. And it can't get fixed in a year or two. And so if we stay with it and get OTR to closer to its potential, the entire city benefits.